A lot of students complain about the time it takes for them to solve problems on the SATs. But remember, the SATs are not testing how much math you know, it tests how well you can take tests. That makes sense? So since that's the case, you can use some shortcuts. It's not a crime. And one of the things you can use is the answers on the test. All you're doing in this one is you're just trying some of your answers into the problem that you get. And this is especially helpful if your answers are ordered. So you're just taking one of the middle values like C or B. I usually like to start with C. And then you're trying it. And if that one works, then great, good job, you're good to go. If not, if it's too high, then you would go to the lower answers. And if it's too low, then you would go to the higher answers. This can help to save time, because you don't have to do all of the working out for the problem, but you have to know when it's best to use. Sometimes it's better, sometimes it takes more time. Let's try it out. Now this question is from the practice test 2, and this comes from the 3rd paper. So you know this paper doesn't have any calculator. And it says if k is greater than 0 and x equals 7 in the equation that we have above, what is the value of k? So I'm going to use my answers. I'm going to start with C. So C is 4, and that means in an equation, if I plug it in, it's supposed to make it correct. So I'm basically asking myself, is 2 times 4 squared plus 17, all of that is square rooted, minus x, where x is 7, is that equal to 0? Let's try and figure out. Now 4 squared is 16. And 2 times 16 is 32. So 32 plus 17 square rooted minus 7. 32 plus 17 is 49. Right? And the square root of 49 is 7. So is 7 minus 7 equal to 0? Yes, it is. That is correct. So that means my answer is C. 4. So C being the right answer now, that's just a coincidence. That doesn't always happen. But it's a good place to start in the middle. Now that's how we could have worked it if we used the answers. Let's say I didn't use the answers. Let's say that I tried to solve the problem. Okay. Now how long would that take me? So I'm writing 2k squared plus 17. And I'm getting the square root of that. Minus x. So that's minus 7 equals 0. I can add 7 to both sides, so the square root of 2k squared plus 17 is going to be equal to 7. Then I can square both sides to get rid of the square root. And now that is going to give me 2k squared plus 17 equals 7 squared, which is 49. So that means 2k squared is going to be equal to 49 minus 17. Which is 32, which means that k squared is going to be 32 divided by 2, because we divide both sides by 2 to get rid of the 2 there. So k squared would be 16, which means that k would be the square root of 16, which is 4. So yeah, we found the answer. But it took more time. So that's how using the answers can help. Let's try another one. Now in this SAT question, it comes from practice test 6, paper 4. And it says a website hosting service charges businesses a one-time setup fee of $350 plus D dollars for each month. If a business owner is paid $1,010 for the first 12 months, including the setup fee, what is the value of D? So what do we want to know? We want to know the value of D. What do we already know? We already know that we have an initial setup fee or one-time setup fee of $350, and we also have plus D dollars for each month. So it's basically $350 plus D times whatever number of months we're looking for. Since it's for 12 months and it's D dollars each month, then the total fee is going to be 12 times D plus that $350 fee. Now we know that this should be equal to 1010. So the question is, which one of these numbers is it? Let me start with C. Now C is 45, and this is the calculator section, so I'm going to get my calculator and I'm just going to plug this in and see if it works. So does 350 plus 12 times 45, does that give me 1010? No, it gives me an answer that is less than that. So that means my answer has to be higher than 45. The only option here is D, so my answer has to be 55. And if we work it out, if we put 55 here instead, then we can see that it works out to be 1010. So this is another area that the answer could help us to figure it out. So you just have to be intentional about what you choose. In this case, it works. It might not work in another case, but that's one of the ways that you can crack the SATs.